Hi, Cooper.
Yeah.
In the years you've been with the Rams, the years that Sean McVay has been with the Rams, the team has been really good at bouncing back from maybe surprising losses like last night. What makes a team good at that? What makes a coaching staff or a group of team leaders adept at that?
I think Andrew Whitworth kind of touched on that a little bit after the game. I think it's just about having the right guys that know how to respond versus, um, having any kind of victim mentality of all this stuff. It's not about pouting. It's not about anything like that. Just take accountability for what went wrong. Um, and then we got the right guys that want to fix those things. So when you've got that, you got the right guys in the building, the right guys, as coaches pushing guys as well. That's just the mentality that we take. And, then when you're able to take that mentality, it just moves on to the next game and you're able to, continue to get better and, build on the things we've done before, but also correct some things that just went wrong. And I think sometimes these things can create maybe a good sense of urgency that, is can be a good thing for us sometimes.
So, what needs to be corrected after last night?
Oh, I mean, there's so many things that we can do better at. Again, we didn't do great on third downs, but a lot of that there's credit to the Titans for making a few good plays. We were able to bat down a few balls that I thought could have been good plays for us. They they had uh, they had a good plan, and we ended up going down early, and then having to kind of play to get back, and we just have to execute our stuff better. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. It's just executing our stuff better, as it is almost every week. When something goes wrong, when you believe that you've got the right guys in the building, you've got the right coaches, you've put together the right game plan, which I believe that we do week in and week out. What does that come down to? Then it comes down to the execution of the game plan and the execution plan and play out, and we just got to do a better job of that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Jordan?
Hey, Cooper, in your perspective, what sort of impact, not just necessarily on what some of the downfield concepts you guys were able to do, but also some of the way their coverages unfolded? Like, what was the impact of the pressure they were getting with a lot of times with four guys up front?
Yeah, well, when you get into we got into a few too many situations where we were in, second and long, third and long, type of situations where you become kind of a known, they're known passing downs. And from a front, now you're you're running your games and doing stunts and stuff like that. That might not be great versus a run, but when you're third and 15 or third 26 at one point, I think, when you're in these, second and longs, third and longs, allows them to kind of run those games, make things really hard up front. And then on the back end, just being able to, it just felt like they did a good job playing the sticks and pushing any kind of shot plays, kind of getting pushed a little bit deeper. And, they did a good job executing their game plan. We just got to do a better job of executing ours.
When a quarterback like Matthews entered the game like second best in the league against some of that too high stuff that Tennessee seemed to be playing a little bit, and please correct me if I'm inaccurate in that, but been really good against that stuff. So, but when that kind of pressure can happen, does that affect, how good someone, I guess, is able to be in terms of manufacturing those plays?
Oh, sure. That's kind of the theme you come into this league. You a lot of times that receiver, you're told coming in, like, you're not so much being your guy as you are being the pass rush. Guys in this league are so good. You have to be aware of that stuff. And like I said, they did a good job when you play that, two safety stuff, being able to kind of catch routes from deeper. And when you are behind the sticks now, they're able to play that from even deeper. So it takes longer to get down the field, get down there to do those kinds of things. And I thought there was some. I thought Matthew did some really good stuff, and in the receiver room, we had opportunities there, some plays that we can definitely make, but also there's just some stuff that we catch the ball underneath. We got to do a better job of creating explosives off of plays that aren't really designed to be explosives. We take pride in running after the catch, being able to create plays on our own, and we got to do a better job of that especially when you get those situations where defenses are going to give you that underneath stuff. We got to be able to, make them pay for it, not make it something where we're having to take, 5 yards over and over and over again, but turning some of those small plays into really big plays. And, something that we take pride in. We practice it. We practice hard. And as much as you can practice it during the week, that's something we want to do. And we just got to do a better job of that.
Thanks, Cooper. And sorry, one more from me. How, what is it? Nine games in. How are you feeling? You're over 1,000 yards. How are you feeling physically?
I'm good. It just is, I think anytime you get to this point in the year, there's, little things that you feel, but overall feel good. Just, I love coming in every single day, coming to work. And, that's all I can ask for.
Thanks, Coop.
Yep. Stu.
Hey, Cooper, going back to the accountability you brought up a little bit earlier when mentioning the team's response. What does that look like, or what did that look like, whether it was in meeting rooms, on the practice field, in any environment, when you guys were able to have the response you wanted and bounce back from the Cardinals loss earlier this week, or what does that response look like in general anytime you have an undesired result?
Yeah, well, I mean, it honestly doesn't look too much different. A lot of that stuff is just intrinsically within the guys that you have in this building, right? It's just when we have the right people, guys that are going to be accountable to themselves, guys that are going to watch this film and say, these are the things that I know I can do better. And we got guys that hold them. Like everyone here, no one's going to be harder on anyone in this room than the guys that are in that, in those seats. The players that we have here are the hardest on themselves. And you got that, you come in, you watch the film, you might get some stuff that, schematically, this is what we want to do as a coaching staff. They present the stuff that we need to do better. But as players, there's always, there's plays that happen all the time where it's like, you don't really, maybe you don't get coached on something, but you say, you know what, I know I can do that better. And so, like I said, there's not a whole lot of change as much as it is just to the man being able to look within themselves and say, what can I do to be better for this team? And, be able to make that better next week.
Thank you.
Yeah. Gary.
Hey, Cooper. You had a couple games, Rams, earlier in the season where I think, you described the problems on third down as kind of an atrocious stretch, but then you guys seem to kind of improve and get better at that, struggled again last night. What's kind of the key to having consistently good performances on third down?
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of that stuff, third downs more than anything are, executing your third down plan. And, the numbers can be, a little skewed here. We ended up, like I said, behind the sticks in a lot of those. There's multiple third and longs, there's third and very longs that you obviously don't want to be in. You have 2 batted balls, I believe, on third down that, I thought were going to the right guy. I think Robert did a great job getting open on third downs and, could have been really, really good plays for us. A few times where, they say good job with getting some push, up front. And it's football. It takes all 11. Plays where, guys get open. We might not have, been as stout as we should have been up front. When the O-line's stout up front, we might not have been getting it open as well as we should have. So, all that stuff goes hand in hand. It just, it just seems like a few things went wrong, at the perfectly imperfect time yesterday. And, but at the end of the day, it comes down to us being able to get on the same page and being able to execute those things, play in and play out.
Thanks.
Yeah. Kaylin.
Hey, Coop. Considering the way that, you win as a route runner, as a receiver, like how important is spatial awareness or just understanding where defenders are going to be or where they're at as a route runner?
Yeah, well, it's incredibly important. I think feeling space, just as a quarterback's able to feel space as they're, looking down the field. Our view of the field as a receiver isn't the same as a quarterback, but as you get down the field, you obviously pass people and trying to feel and get a some kind of feel for where linebackers or safeties are dropping as you run past them, feeling the underneath part of the coverage. But there is definitely a feel for kind of trying to understand where that space is and then getting into that space within the timing of the play. There's actually, in the first drive yesterday, there's a play that I think I could have done a better job feeling the space where, my route within the parameters of what my route was, I was probably still within the parameters of what I was supposed to be doing. But just to help the play, I could have sped things up a little bit quicker by seeing and feeling the space and giving Matthew a throw, maybe a revolution earlier than I did. So it's incredibly important, and it all coincides, with everything that you do as a football team. O-line has to hold up front. You're obviously on a timer with those guys getting home. You got to distribute the field the right way. And, if you can feel space and understand within the confines of what you're trying to get done on a certain play, feeling that space and you'll get to that space quicker or, when the quarterback's expecting you to is very important.
So it seems like it's something that, you consciously think about, as a football player. So I guess, like, how long does it take to, at least from your perspective, how long does it take to develop like that nuance as, to understanding like space and like what's going on around you?
I mean, I don't think it takes too long as much as it does take a conscious effort and intentionality, especially in practice. You don't want to be thinking a ton during a game. You want to just be feeling the game. But practicing and being able to go through that and trying to be intentional, understanding at the defense, we go through, you're going against your scout team, they're trying to give you the feel of what this game is going to be like. They're trying to give you a feel for what this coverage is going to play out like as, safeties move and roll and linebackers push and, you get run throughs, hook droppers, all this different stuff. They're trying to give you that look and trying to be intentional about feeling all those things and trying to understand the patterns of a defense dropping and moving. If you can be intentional about that during practice, now you build that into the point where you come to a game and it is just a feel. You're trying to just, play freely and let that kind of come to you, that feel you've developed during the week.
Got you. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.